Hello, I'm Diana and welcome back to my channel Don't Mind Me. Today I'll be talking about the myths and legends of Devil's Dyke, but first I'd like to talk about a missing person called Georgina Gharsallah. She comes from Rotherham in West Sussex. The picture in my thumbnail will be of Georgina. This beautiful lady has been missing since Wednesday the 7th of March 2018. She was last seen on CCTV in Worthing before she disappeared. There's one video of Georgina walking down Chapel Road with another female who could possibly be another missing person called Leah Croucher, but we are not 100% sure. Georgina was 30 years old when she went missing. She is 5'4" tall with shoulder-length dark hair, and she was wearing a grey coat with black jeans. Georgina is not only a daughter, but she is also a mother to two beautiful boys who can't understand why their beautiful mother hasn't come home. It has been 4 years and 2 months since Georgina was last seen. Please, if anyone has any information or has seen this beautiful lady, please contact Sussex Police and quote the words Operation PARVO, or you can speak with Criminology Sisters, saying search for Georgina Gharsallah and Leah Croucher, or please text or call on 116 000. I will leave these contact details in the description below. But please, someone must know what has happened to both of these ladies. They both need justice and their families need closure. So please do the right thing and help us find these two missing persons from my local area. So, and as I say, if you can help them, please call the numbers below. Thank you. Okay, now on to the second part of this video. The history, myths and legends of Devil's Dyke. Devil's Dyke is a V-shaped 100-metre dry valley in southern England and lies 5 miles northwest of Brighton. It is managed by the National Trust, and since the late 19th century and early 20th century, it has been a very popular tourist attraction. It is used as a viewpoint, offering views of the South Downs, the Weald, and on a very clear day, the Isle of Wight. It is also a site for walking, flying model aircraft, and hang gliding. Also, the South Downs Way passes the site. The geological history of the Dyke is formed in rocks that come from the chalk group, which originated as marine sediments during the Cretaceous period, and it is a misconception common amongst most local residents of Brighton that the valley was formed by some kind of glacial action. This myth of a glacier is a misunderstanding of accounts such as the one from the quote from the Encyclopedia of Brighton below. In reality, the 300-foot deep valley was carved by tremendous amounts of water running off the downs during the last ice age, when large amounts of snow thawed and the frozen chalk prevented any further absorption. Erosion was aided by the frozen-thaw cycle, and the valley was deepened by the sludging of the saturated chalk. Devil's Dyke's V-shaped dry valley is the result of solifluction and river erosion more than 14,000 years ago. Admittedly, the area did experience an intensely cold climate, but it wasn't glacial conditions. Snowfields did cap the South Downs, and the chalk was permanently frozen due to the permafrost conditions. In summer, the snowfields melted and saturated the top layer of soil because the water could not permeate the frozen chalk. The waterlogged material situated above the permafrost slid down the gradient, removing material by friction and exposing deeper layers of frozen chalk. When the Ice Age did end, the snowfields covering the South Downs melted and rivers formed across Sussex, and one of these rivers actually completed Devil's Dyke. The ancient history starts before and after the Iron Age, where Devil's Dyke was used as a defensive site, and this was probably because of its commanding view of the surrounding terrain, as well as the steep edges surrounded by large expanses of land. Devil's Dyke was an important site in the Iron Age. All the vegetation was scraped off the white chalk, leaving Devil's Dyke as an impressive monument to both attract and intimidate the populace. In Victorian times, Devil's Dyke became a tourist attraction. There was a fairground, 2 bandstands, an observatory and a camera obscura, and all of this was served by a branch line from Hove. During its heyday, Devil's Dyke was a huge attraction for the Victorians, and on Whit Sunday in 1893 it had 30,000 people visiting it. From 1887 to 1938, a single-track railway branch line operated from near Aldrington in Hove to the Dyke railway station, the current Dyke Farm location, to transport sightseers to the foot of the hill. From 1894 to 1909, a cable car operated across the valley covering a distance of 350 metres, suspended 70 metres above the valley floor. And from 1897 to 1909, a 3-foot narrow-gauge funicular steep-grade railway rose 100 metres from near Poynings to the northern edge of the hill fort. There are still traces of these 3 ventures, including the remains of concrete pylon supports for the cable car system. Now, here comes the myth or legend. The myth explains the Dyke as the work of the devil. Here is the most popular version of that story. The story starts with the conversion of the Kingdom of Sussex to Christianity. Sussex was the last of the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms to embrace the new faith, and its conversion infuriated the devil, as he thereby lost his last stronghold in England. The devil resolved that he would exterminate its inhabitants by digging a branch through the South Downs so that the sea would flood through and drown the people of Sussex Weald. There's a hermit by the name of Cuthman of Stenning who heard about the devil's intentions and came up with a plan to stop him. The plan was a wager. If the devil could complete the trench in a single night, he could have Cuthman's soul, but if he failed, then he would have to abandon the project and leave the people of Sussex alone for good. The devil accepted the wager and began work that night, working his way southward from Poynings toward the sea. The mounds of earth thrown up by his digging formed the nearby hills of Chanctonbury Ring, Sisbury Ring, Mount Caburn, Firle Beacon and the Isle of Wight. Cuthman bided his time to begin with, but shortly after midnight he displayed a lit candle in his window, while also startling a cock so that it would start crowing in alarm. At the sound of the crowing cock and the light, the devil thought that dawn was breaking, and thus he had lost his wager with Cuthman. He therefore ran away in disgrace, leaving behind the unfinished trench henceforth known as Devil's Dyke. There is a second part to this, which is at the bottom of Devil's Dyke there are 2 mounds, known as humps. They are also known as the Devil's Graves, under which is said to be buried the devil and his wife. Now the legend goes, if a person runs backwards 7 times around these humps, whilst holding their breath, the devil will appear. Whether this is true or not, I don't know. I've never tried it and probably never will. So I hope it's just a myth and not a legend and not real. So, as I say, I will leave all the information regarding missing Georgina and Leah in my description below, as well as the information about Devil's Dyke and the National Trust. So if you liked this video, please press the thumbs up, as it helps with the YouTube algorithm. Also press the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified as to when I next post. And please share this video, especially the first part regarding missing Georgina and Leah. Thank you for watching, and please treat those around you with love, respect and understanding. And until next time, hopefully, which will be hopefully next week, and hopefully another myth story, take care of yourselves and stay safe.